Hello, Leafs Nation. Welcome back to your go-to channel, Toronto Maple Leaf News Network. Today we have 3 jam-packed updates about our Leafs which have happened or come to notice just a few hours ago. So if you are a true Leafs fan, you don't want to miss these updates. And yes, before we start the video, a request. If you are new to the channel, then don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can stay in the loop. All right, let's get right into our first big story. Update 1. Has Treliving found the fix? Massive Flyers trade target emerges. Leafs Nation, we all know it. We've been feeling it. The Toronto Maple Leafs have been on the hunt for a high-impact scoring forward to slot into our top 6. We need someone with speed, someone with finishing ability, and the answer might just be playing in Philadelphia right now. According to a report that just surfaced, there is a player on the Philadelphia Flyers who could be the solution to some of our major problems. Now, we know the Flyers are in a full-blown rebuild. They're trying to find their identity under their new coach, Rick Tocchet, and they are absolutely loaded on the wing. They have young guys like Matvei Michkov and Tyson Foerster, plus they just locked up veteran Travis Konechny to a massive 8-year extension. They also have prospects like Porter Martoni and others waiting in the wings. Because they are so deep, this situation is apparently leaving a key player, Owen Tippett, on the outs. And believe me, the Maple Leafs should be ready to take full advantage. According to recent reports, multiple teams are already circling, looking at Philadelphia and Owen Tippett, trying to see if the Flyers would be willing to trade him sooner rather than later. This is where our general manager, Brad Treliving, needs to pick up the phone. Why Tippett? Let's break down why he fits seamlessly into the Leafs' top 6. First off, speed and shot. We've all noticed that the Leafs have seemed a step slower this season. Well, Tippett is one of the quickest skaters in the entire National Hockey League. Get this, according to the National Hockey League Edge tracking data, he grades out in the 98th percentile in max skating speed and the 99th percentile in how many quick bursts he has up the ice. We desperately need that kind of game-breaking speed. Add to that, the man has an electrifying shot. The report compares his archetype to a hometown Phil Kessel. Now, hold on. They're not saying he's guaranteed to have the same success Kessel had, but he's that type of player. He's a 26-year-old winger from Peterborough, and on his best days, he is simply unstoppable. But Nation, this is the best part. It's not just the player, it's the contract. Tippett would bring long-term security. He is signed through the 2031-2032 season, and his average annual value, his AAV, is just $6.2 million. Think about that. In a few years, when the salary cap is projected to hit well above $120 million, that $6.2 million is going to be what teams are paying bottom 6 forwards. The Leafs could have a player comfortably scoring 25 or 30 goals a year for that price. So what would it cost? There's no guaranteed package, but we know the Flyers need help on defense and down the middle. Could a top prospect like Ben Danford be the centerpiece? Or maybe even Easton Cowan, especially considering Tippett is a big body at 6'2". Over the last 3 full seasons, Tippett has averaged 25 goals and 48.3 points with 286 shots on goal. And remember, he did that on the lowly Flyers. Can you imagine those totals if you partner him up with Auston Matthews and Matthew Knies? It is not crazy to think his totals would rocket up to 35 goals and 70 points. This is the answer, Leafs Nation, and he currently plays in Philadelphia. Update 2. Locker room frustration? Stolarz calls out teammates, Nylander responds. All right, Nation, let's move on to our second story, and this one is a biggie. It looks like the Toronto Maple Leafs are dealing with a little bit of early season drama. After that tough 4-3 loss to the Seattle Kraken on Saturday night, our goaltender Anthony Stolarz publicly called out his teammates. Now, let's be clear, the Maple Leafs are still one of the better teams in the National Hockey League, but comments like these definitely show that there is still work to be done. And having this kind of criticism come out after only 6 games? Well, it's concerning. It's not completely unheard of course. The report mentions that Detroit Red Wings coach Todd McClellan called out his guys after their first game. But just because it happens elsewhere doesn't mean we should ignore it. So how did the locker room take it? For now, it seems like it's water under the bridge. Our very own William Nylander was asked about the comments from his goaltender. Willie admitted that the entire locker room is frustrated with how they are beginning the season. He said, and I quote, "I think there's frustration maybe a little bit in the locker room." He continued, "I think we can play better, but I think our game has been growing. What are we 3-2-1? It is what it is, but we are a tight-knit group, and we move forward from here." Nylander made it very clear this isn't a major issue. He said, "It's all good. We're teammates. He's a great guy. It's nothing we need to talk about in the media. He talked to me after, and it's all good." So, that's Nylander's side. But what was Stolarz so frustrated about? Well, the Leafs did not put their best foot forward on Saturday. They gave Seattle some very easy looks, and a team like the Kraken will take advantage of those. The report says the Leafs didn't seem interested in making life hard for their opponents. But here is the specific incident that really looked bad. In the third period, Toronto defenseman Brandon Carlo apparently stood and watched as Kraken forward Mason Marchment ran right into Stolarz. It wasn't until Stolarz himself reacted that any of his teammates jumped to his defense. Nation, you know that is unacceptable. You have to protect your goalie. But here is the key. Stolarz isn't just venting. This man has a Stanley Cup to his name. He knows what a team needs to do to win it all. His frustration is coming from a good place. It's because of the potential he sees in this very room. He clarified his comments on Monday. Stolarz said, "We are on the cusp of doing great things, so that's why I'm so passionate about it. I feel we can go all the way." He finished by saying, "Our goal is to win the Stanley Cup, and in order to get there, it's a process. We've had some discussions, and we love each other. It's a family in here." So it sounds like they've talked it out. The air is cleared, and now they have to show it on the ice. The Maple Leafs are back in action on Tuesday night against Jesper Bratt and the New Jersey Devils. Update 3. Vladdy wins MVP. Matthews' jersey works as Jay's punch ticket to World Series. Nation, for our final update, they did it. They actually did it. In our last video, we talked about Vladimir Guerrero Jr. showing up for Game 7 of the American League Championship Series wearing an Auston Matthews jersey. We talked about how some fans were worried about a curse. Well, Vladdy was unbothered, and that jersey wasn't a curse. It was a good luck charm. The Toronto Blue Jays are headed to the World Series for the first time since 1993. It was an absolutely electric night at the Rogers Center. The Jays beat the Seattle Mariners 4-3 in Game 7, and it all came down to a dramatic 3-run home run in the 7th inning from George Springer that sent the Dome into a frenzy. After the game, Vladdy, the man who repped our Leafs captain, was awarded the American League Championship Series Most Valuable Player Award. You absolutely love to see it. The scenes from the celebration were just incredible. There's a rookie right-hander, Trey Yesovich, who started this year in low-A ball. His parents, Cheryl and Dave, were on the field just asking, "Is this a dream? Is this a movie?" That's what this win means. The massive party moved from the field to the clubhouse with a DJ spinning tunes, a giant disco ball, and smoke machines. Catcher Tyler Heineman, who prefers beer to champagne because it stings the eyes, summed it up perfectly. It hasn't really sunk in. We still got a job to do. We got 4 wins to go. And he's right. Next up is the Fall Classic, which is set to begin on Friday against Shohei Ohtani and the juggernaut Los Angeles Dodgers. What a moment for this city. The best supporting the best. And now the Blue Jays are 4 wins away from a title. Let's go! And that, Leafs Nation, is a wrap on one of the biggest news days we've had in a while. From a massive trade target in Owen Tippett, who could fix our scoring woes, to the internal frustrations in the locker room being handled by Stolarz and Nylander, to the entire city celebrating a Blue Jays World Series berth. What a time to be a Toronto sports fan. Now I need to hear from you. What do you think? Should Treliving pull the trigger on that Tippett trade? Are you relieved to hear the team is handling the locker room issues internally? And most importantly, how incredible was that Blue Jays win? Are you riding that high right now? Drop all your thoughts and congratulations for the Jays down below. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new to the channel and made it this far, do us a huge favor. Hit that like button and smash that subscribe button. Don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss an update. This is the Toronto Maple Leaf News Network, your #1 spot for all the latest Leafs news. We'll see you in the next one.